Hi, I'm Rowan.
And I'm Calvin.
And I'm Max.
And you're watching episode 3.12 of
In the Zone!
Today we're going to be discussing the Twilight Zone episode, The Jungle. We're going to spoil the whole thing, so if you don't want to spoil it for you, check it out beforehand. How can you do that?
Hulu, Netflix, IMDb, and DVDs.
So we're in a city!
To be specific, New York City. We meet there's this woman, and she's doing some thing, and her husband comes around,
He's like, I lost my cufflinks. And then she's like, oh. But then he's like, but I found them in your jewel case.
And then I also found this other stuff, too. And there's like
a man's finger.
That looks very real.
Looks really real, actually.
She says they're souvenirs from a witch doctor. They're baubles of the witch doctor. Yeah,
Apollo the witch doctor. Remember that song?
Yes, I do. So they're recently at a trip to Africa. Just Africa.
Why?
Because he's doing like a drilling project.
Well, we'll talk about
for some resources. And so they were there, and he brought back these souvenirs. He's like, we are in Africa. We're in New York, and he says, can I dispose of them? She says no, but then he still burns them. He's like, these are for weak, uncivilized, ignorant people. She's like, the doctor says that we're wounding the land by drilling. She wants him to stop drilling so that they don't get coist or anything. So he's going to like a late night meeting for some reason.
Yeah, and so he gets his coat on.
And he's like, I'll be back early, and she's like, you won't be back.
Don't open the door. And then when he opens the door anyway, he sees a dead goat.
John.
Fade to black. We come up, and he's at work. They're discussing the drilling project.
It's a business meeting.
This guy's like, what about the natives? And the protagonist, we never learned his name, do we?
No,
we didn't.
What should we call him?
What if you just call him protagonist?
Okay, I'm down for that.
How about Prody for short?
Protag.
So Protag is like, oh, they were Zenos.
Yeah.
And he's like, he mentions, shall we, witchcraft, much like the last episode. And he's like, there's a wise on there.
Yeah.
What does that say?
What?
There's a...
Basically, they were Zenos, except
there's a
there's a curse on them.
And how it'll curse them to have a slow, painful death, all of them.
He doesn't believe it when he's saying, and they don't believe it, but then he's like, oh, look, you have superstitious stuff. You have a rabbit's foot. You believe in astrology, etc., etc.
Yeah.
It's sort of interesting that he's
like,
turning the tables on him.
And he's like, all right, we understand you.
Yeah, and he just exposes everyone's superstitions. Then later he's at a bar with his friend Chad.
And he's like, how could I get the quickest, if I were trying to find a goat cactus, goat
cactus.
Carcass, my bad. A goat carcass, where would I go to get it quickest?
He says to a psychiatrist.
And he's like, no joke.
Protag is like, I have this protective amulet. It's my wife's. It's a lion's tooth. It protects me from lions. In New York! So then Protag complains about superstitions for a while, and then they both leave.
And then he gets in his car. So he turns on the engine, and nothing happens.
Yeah, it doesn't
and then
start.
he turns on the engine again, nothing happens.
Sputters.
And then he calls out,
Chad!
and then he tries it again, doesn't work.
Car runs, because he thinks Chad might hear him and turn around, but then no, his car just keeps going.
And then, he
goes to the bar,
he goes
and
to the
bar. It's locked.
He
He sees the tooth in there.
No, he doesn't see it. He walks away, but then zoom in on the tooth. Blackout. Fade to black. We come up.
And then we see him in the phone booth. Right?
Yeah, he goes to the phone booth.
So he goes to the phone booth, and then he realizes it's out of order. So he walks
away. Then he hears it ringing. He hears the phone ringing. He picks it up. He hears a bunch of animal noises.
And then
it's like nature sound. It's like pew pew pew.
That's pretty good, actually. Anyway, we get the point.
Okay.
It's a little less annoying.
And then he drops the phone and walks away.
And then great shot of the drop.
Oh yeah. He's scared.
And then it's a bunch of padding.
And he's good at it too. Yeah, it's way too much padding, but at least he's good at acting scared.
It's pretty creepy.
It's good
because you know why? Because the streets are completely deserted. That's creepy.
Yeah, nobody's
And
there.
also they use what's so smart. They don't have like da 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 like suspenseful music. They have it silent most of the time, which is really a smart choice.
It's cool.
So then a cab shows up.
The cab just want to ride. Like he's not even He's not
That's
even
a little weird.
He's not even calling for a cab. He just the guy's
weird,
want to ride, and he gets in. And then finally he's he stops. The driver stops. He's just frozen.
The light's green. You can go now.
And then he pats him, and he's dead.
Over. And then he gets out of the cab confused. And then
that's pretty spooky. He just sort of was like, huh, that's weird. Then he walked away. I don't know what's up with him.
And then he's walking down the street, and there's this light in this costume.
There's this mannequin that's like this stereotypical African,
and
and it's like a costume place. This was back in the day where you could get a costume like that. And what's cool is they use a real person as the mannequin.
Yeah.
And he doesn't go like boo or anything, but it's like
It's just
it's because
like, I was like, whoa.
it's unsettling because it's clearly a real person, but unsettling. And then there's a hand on his shoulder.
There's a hand on his shoulder.
And I feel like here's the thing.
Yeah.
That could be creepier. It wasn't that creepy.
It wasn't that creepy.
Like for example in Hitchhiker when their back's there and then the hand comes out, it's creepy. But here it's not that creepy.
It's just like it's
I think it's because it's slower.
Yeah.
So, but then and also because the guy doesn't get scared. He just sort of is like, hand.
But I don't know if that's what's important, is making the hand creepy.
Whatever.
It could be. I think it was supposed to be scary.
It was wrinkled.
Yeah, wrinkles are scary.
Yeah.
Stay away from olds. But no, I think it was supposed to be creepy, like hand on shoulder. Ah! Oh, it's because an old man. So it's a homeless guy who asks for some money. He gives him some, and then the guy starts to leave. But then he's like, wait a minute, where's that sound coming from? Because there's nature voices.
And he's like,
but the guy doesn't hear anything.
I don't hear no.
I didn't hear what is this?
And he's like, it must be my ears. They're not very good.
And so he's like, how would you like to make some money? And the guy's like, doing what? And he's like, I'll give you $10 to walk with me home. Because he's scared to walk across the park because things are scary. So then, but then the guy disappears.
And it always just like, I'll give you a couple dollars.
He looks and then he looks back and the guy's gone.
Yeah, it's so good.
And then it's like.
Then he runs after yelling for him. He hears like a lion noise and then there's like a lion sculpture. Then he goes into the park. He goes there and smokes a cigarette.
Yeah.
Hears rustling leaves. Then loud nature noises. Scary.
And he runs and then he's at the fence and he's like, I can't get up.
One scary part is you see like a shadow run. And you can't even tell what that's scary.
That's scary.
And then, he's like loud lion noises, gets to the other side, then he falls, keeps running, goes to the apartment building but can't enter, then he covers his ears and the loud noises go away.
And he falls to the ground.
Yeah, and then he slowly gets up, walks in, and he's in his apartment, and then he hears like the quietest lion noise. It's like so awesome, and they really take their time with this scene.
Yeah.
This is great direction.
And then there's this long
And then
pause.
there's a very slow close-up on his face like, I'm dead. And then he slowly walks. It's almost silent. Into the bedroom, and there's his dead wife.
With a lion.
With a lion. Tramples him, killing him, eating him, and that's the end.
I thought it was good.
It was pretty better than the last one.
It was pretty good.
It was too padded. I got a little bit bored.
I don't know about padding.
I thought it was suspenseful.
It was building the suspense, building the scariness.
It felt too much like a stereotypical like Twilight Zone.
No, I think it was different. It's
different.
more like a horror movie of just things being
good.
scary.
It was still good. Though.
If you were watching this at night, it would be pretty effective. Here's some stuff that doesn't make sense. So there was a curse on him. So the curse made this homeless man materialize and then disappear. Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like it was kind of absurd. Like it was a bunch of,
it was weird. It was like, what are the rules for this? But it's a fun ride if you just don't think about it and just watch.
It's a fun ride.
It's like scary thing after scary thing.
It's not really scary though. It's like that's kind of the cool thing. It's kind of like
it's suspenseful. Here's what's scary about it that they do really well is the silence. It's almost silent.
Oh yeah.
No music. It's really smart.
Yeah, because most of them like that, like but this is like silent, so you have to be quiet.
That's pretty smart. I feel like the Twilight Zone doesn't often do stuff like that, but that's a good move. The guy was pretty good. Maybe his reactions could have been
pretty good acting.
His reactions could have been a bit bigger.
I thought his reactions were pretty good. I mean,
they're pretty small though. Like the guy dies in the cabin, he's like,
No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, I guess you're right. If someone dies, I mean, you're gonna freak out a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean,
he only really freaked out during the park where it's like noises.
But I mean, that's not very bad. Like, if someone dies and
that's
it's just like all of a
noises.
sudden, like nothing happened to kill him. Like,
that's a very well done scene.
Yeah, I just felt, and he just tapped him. It's just like, and I don't know. It's just like scary part. But like, I mean,
obviously it's not like great, like so thought provoking or anything, but it's a fun ride. Also, I love that last scene where he like just slowly walks over,
it's just, like,
slowly
you see the door,
realizes
the doors is so slow.
That's
we see his wife first before you see the lion.
Yeah,
which is
that's
kinda
good
nice.
stuff.
I give it a 7.5.
I give it a 9.
What?
That is very generous in my opinion.
It is. I just like the suspense. I feel like it's really
they do it well.
really well done. I thought the acting was pretty good. I mean, it made me on the edge of my seat. That's what I.
What's cool is that they don't spend a lot of time at the meeting with the people. They spend most of the time with the scary stuff. That's smart.
Yeah,
also, what's smart is they do a commercial break before the scary stuff, so that the scary stuff is not interrupted. You can't go out of it. You're just in it, and then you're stuck there.
I just felt like it was well put together.
Wonderful.
Everything was,
Yeah.
well done.
But is it the most memorable Twilight Zone episode? Probably
Not, but,
No,
it's,
but-
it's pretty good. It's better than the last one.
Better than
It's,
the
you know,
last one.
it's a good use of your time. 7! Next week, we're going to be discussing the Twilight Zone episode Once Upon a Time, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be our halfway point, so that's going to be a big ol' celebration. See you then.